welcome to the Studio of Greatness. I am your host, D. Clark, also known as the creative thought scientist, Wallace Eannace's very own corporate vice president and associate partner. Some people call me the chief motivating officer as well. Today, we have a very special guest for you. His name is Mr. Kevin Smith, and he is the general manager of Panasonic Life and Device Solutions. Kevin is passionate, hardworking, a visionary, and intelligent, as you can tell by the plethora of books behind him. Kevin, welcome to the show.
Great, thanks, DC. It's a pleasure to be with you today. Really looking forward to the next half hour being grilled and hopefully imparting some knowledge out into the world.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to it. I have my pen right here and I'm ready to take some notes. So let's jump right into it. You know, Kevin, if you are engaged in real estate or the HVAC industry, you cannot help but hear the new buzzword, heat pumps, heat pumps, heat pumps, almost every day. Even President Biden has it in this new bill that he has, the actual words heat pump. There are buildings that are adopting policies to ban gas hookups and so forth. This obviously impacts traditional gas-fired boilers for space heating and water heaters for domestic heating. So please, tell me, what is this movement that is happening, and it seems to be happening fast? What's going on here?
Well, you know, in some ways, it seems that we're moving ahead very quickly, but really we're catching up with the rest of the world. The air source heat pump has been a staple for heating and cooling around the world for years now. But you know, this isn't new technology for the world. This is new technology for North America. And it really does change the way we heat and cool. It lets us do things differently inside the home because we can work with zoning in different ways than we've never been able to before. We're able to do things like detect movement or to put systems into our into play that improve indoor air quality. But mostly what we're doing by going to this type of electrification is we're going to make a huge difference to the environment. We're going to reduce greenhouse gases. We're going to reduce our carbon footprint. We're going to reduce the cost of running a house, which, as we all know, has been getting more and more expensive day after day, week after week. And we need to find ways to economize, but mostly we need to find ways to save the planet. And this is not only a painless one for the environment, it's a huge benefit for the person that's changing the way they heat and cool their house.
So let's talk about that for a second. How energy efficient are heat pumps?
It's a night and day difference. You're looking at probably a 50% difference from the conventional heat sources that you're used to using, or the conventional cooling sources that you're used to using. It's game changing within that space.
Okay, interesting. Now, in your previous answer, you mentioned another buzz acronym that's circulating around the industry now, IAQ, or indoor air quality. And I understand that Panasonic has invented and embedded a patented technology into their heat pumps and vent fans that works to improve indoor air quality. So please, I believe it's called the Nano X. If you can talk to us about that, please, and why people should be paying attention to this technology.
Sure. Let me tell you about Nano EX. Nano E is a cross-platform technology that we've developed that's used in many products that Panasonic makes. Everything from, I think my favorite is the clothes hanger. Going to a bar in Japan is like going to a bar in the United States 20 years ago. If you didn't come home smelling like an ashtray, you hadn't had a good time. We took Nano E and put it into a clothes hanger. So you can hang your jacket up on it or your dress up on it. And the next morning, it smells like it's been to the dry cleaners.
Wow.
But it's more than that. Nano E is a system that uses, or that generates hydroxyl radicals. And these are, simply put, for those of you that didn't do chemistry beyond the ninth grade, like me.
Yeah, you have to, yeah, excuse me, you have to break it down in simple terms, because we have, you know, a lot of students logged on from universities now that are freshmen, sophomores, that may not understand some of the terminology.
So let me explain a hydroxyl radical. So hydroxyl radical is basically a molecule that has one oxygen atom and one hydrogen atom. And it is a radical, it's unstable. What it really wants to stabilize is to get another hydrogen atom to join up with it. It wants to hook up and have two hydrogen atoms and one oxygen atom. At that point, it becomes water, H2O. So it does that by reaching out and basically gathering these atoms from things like mold, bacteria, viruses, particularly viruses like the COVID-19 virus that have a fatty covering on the outside and are susceptible to having those hydrogen molecules taken away from them. When that hydrogen molecule is taken away from that virus, that mold, that mildew, that bacteria, they essentially become deactivated. So they don't spread, and they cease to be a nuisance in the home. It helps eliminate the smells, the off-gassing, all these sorts of things, simply by using that chemistry of the hydroxyl radical trying to stabilize itself. So Nano E is used in everything from, it's a system we developed over 20 years ago. In Japan, it's used in trains and elevators. It's just been launched in cars, in high-end cars that are available in North America. It's available in our XE series heat pumps on the indoor units, and it's available in our Whisper air repair system, which is a Nano EX generator that's designed just to do air purification. So this is a unique technology that, instead of relying on taking the air and passing it through and doing some cleaning like UV filters do or like HEPA filters do,
Right,
which is fairly inefficient, it puts the hydroxyl radicals out into the environment at trillions per second and lets them do their work in the environment. Works in the air, works on surfaces, and it really makes an impact. One of the things we find is most interesting is when people install products with a Nano EX system in it, the first thing they notice is how different the room smells, how it smells cleaner, fresher, more like they're outdoor. And when you look at the fact that we're living in a world where the air in our homes is up to 5 times, and that's not me making this up, folks, that's the EPA saying air in our homes is up to 5 times more polluted than the air outdoors. And again, I'm not talking about air in the Rockies. I'm talking about air in the cities. The air in our homes is 5 times more polluted than the air outside. I've got a sales guy that works for me, has one of the great analogies about this. And that is that if you don't have if you aren't using good ventilation or good purification system, you are essentially spending your night breathing in other people's skin cells. As gross as that sounds, it's true. And it points to the importance of having good indoor air quality.
Okay, are you saying that the Nano X technology will prevent people from breathing in the skin cells?
No, what I'm saying is it's part of an overall strategy. I mean, it's important to have, the Nano EX will help take care of the bacteria, the viruses, the molds, the mildews, the allergens that are in the air. But sadly, they don't do anything with skin cells. For that, you need to have a good ventilation strategy where you're moving the air out of your house and you're moving fresh air into your house.
Excellent. Okay, and I just want to be clear and ask this question again, just so that our audience is clear about this as well. The Nano EX technology can inhibit COVID-19. That's what you said, correct?
It's accurate. The laboratory tests that we've done show that it can inhibit the SARS-CoV-2 virus, which causes COVID-19, particularly on surfaces. That's where it's been most effective with that particular virus.
Thank you. Is there a percentage that it's associated with that, or?
Over 99%.
Over 99%. Okay, that's quite impressive.
Yes.
Thank you for that. Appreciate it. My next question has to do with Breathe Well. I've been seeing some campaigns about Panasonic Breathe Well. Does this just have to do with breathing well? I mean, we all want to breathe well, right? And indoor air quality. What is Panasonic Breathe Well?
Okay, so let's talk about that. We at Panasonic, we're in a unique position. We're the only players in the indoor air quality space that can touch on all of the key pillars of having healthy indoor air. We can provide comfort with our air source heat pumps. We can provide clean air with our Nano X product. We can provide fresh air with our ventilation products. And we're the only ones that are in the space that are touching air purification, air comfort, air source heat pumps, and ventilation. We decided to put this together under the banner of Breathe Well, and to start a conversation with North Americans about what they're breathing today and what they need to be breathing. You know, we spend billions of dollars on organic foods at Whole Foods. We go to Panera because they talk about their food being clean.
Guilty as charged.
There you go. Yeah, it was a real hardship. You know, I live in Windsor, just across the border from Detroit. It was a real hardship when the border was closed there to not be able to go over to Whole Foods and give them my whole paycheck. You know, we spend billions on filtering our water. We don't think about what we're breathing, and yet we take in about 8 times more air by weight than we do water or food. So the thing that we take into our bodies, most essential to our bodies, is the thing we think least about in terms of making it clean. So we've started this conversation with builders, with developers, and most importantly with consumers. And that's what Breathe Well is all about. It's about this conversation, and it's about telling people that you've got a partner out there that can help you to develop solutions, whether you're a builder and you're looking to build healthy homes, whether you're a homeowner and you're trying to improve the way you live, the way you protect your family. I mean, these are our nests.
Right.
These are our nests we're talking about. And we need to make them be passionate about making them the safest, cleanest places we possibly can for our families. And that's what Breathe Well is about. It's about the gathering together of these components and having this conversation with folks about it. You know, at the end of the day, maybe it's going to help me to sell some more Panasonic product. Mm-hmm. But at the very least, we're going to have had the conversation and tell people how important it is to think about what you're breathing, the thing that you're taking into your body more than anything else. We take 20,000 breaths a day. Every one of them should be a good breath. You should be breathing well 20,000 times a day.
I like that. I like the way you wrap that up. And so those 3 pillars again are comfort, clean air, and fresh air. Do they tie in at all to smart technology? Because I know most of the modern homes that are being built today are built with a lot of that smart technology.
Yeah, we have a great technology partner that we work with across North America, the Panasonic in Canada and the United States distribute, called Swidget. These are a bunch of guys who are actual rocket scientists who have developed a very unique control system that basically is modular. So you can decide, do I want an air quality sensor here? Do I want a humidity sensor here? Do I want a timer module? And it allows the builder or the homeowner to customize the solution for their space. And then those devices interact with our ERVs, our fans, and eventually they'll interact with our air source heat pumps. So we're working towards that.
Awesome, awesome, fantastic answer. Thank you, Kevin. I believe that we must all prepare for tomorrow. Why? because we're going to spend the rest of our lives living there as long as we're alive. So can you give us a glimpse, maybe a high level glimpse of what Panasonic is doing to prepare for tomorrow with maybe some new technologies that aren't out yet that you guys are looking at without giving away the patented secrets?
Sure. I mean, there are things that we're working towards, and one of the challenges around air source heat pumps is that, you know, for new builds or for systems where you might have hot water heating, or you might have radiant heat, electric radiant heat, it's an easy change out. Where it gets challenging is if you've got a current central air and central gas or oil fired furnace, you know, you may not want to change from ducting to a system where you've got the indoor head units. All the indoor head units have so much to offer. You know, that ability, as I mentioned earlier on, to zone where you are, to have them react to the fact that you're in the room, and to pick up the pace in that particular room. We even have a feature on the units that recognize activity and pick up the pace when somebody's engaged in activity. If you don't want to go to that level, air source heat pumps still are a great solution around the energy saving side of this and the greenhouse gas reduction and reducing your carbon footprint. So we're going to be introducing product that will allow us to bring air source heat to pump technology to your existing ducted system. So you won't have to rip your ducting out. You'll be able to use an air source heat pump, connect up to your existing ductwork, and heat and cool your homes with an air source heat pump. That's one thing we're doing. In Europe, we've introduced an air to water solution. This is a product that allows us to run everything from hot water to hydronic heating using air source heat pumps. Right now, this product is just in the European market, but we are working towards localizing that for North America. So these are a couple of the things that we're doing. We're looking at taking the ventilation product and making it even smarter and more efficient. The ERV lineup that we have, we're adding new features to that category. And for those of you that don't know what an ERV is, this is an energy recovery ventilator. Mm-hmm. The way it works is it's connected up to a ducted furnace system or a ducted air conditioning system. And an ERV will, as the air goes out of your house, as it moves the air out of your house, it extracts the heat or the cool that you've created in your house. And as the air comes in, it tempers the air coming in. So it cools or heats it using what it's recovered on the way out. So you always have fresh air without overburdening your system and without taking the air that you just paid to heat or cool and send that outside. This is a big step up from the old heat recovery ventilator, which is really old technology. It only recovers heat in the winter. And the side benefit of ERVs is around humidity control. You tend to get more stable humidity. And one of the keys to comfort is stable humidity. If you're running a stable temperature and a stable humidity throughout the year, you're going to be able to save on energy because you're going to be able to pick maybe you're at 72 today, or maybe you're at 70 like my wife, who I'm convinced has a side business hanging meat in the basement.
Not just yours.
But yeah, you can pop that up to 74 degrees and still have the same level of comfort if you've got proper humidity control. And an ERV is a big factor in doing that.
Awesome. Looking forward to seeing some of those new exciting products come to market. Next, we're going to take a question from the chat box. This is Tiffany from Purdue University, another cold climate there. The question, Kevin, is some corporations are playing a big part in leading the way towards a more sustainable future. Can you share some of Panasonic's sustainability goals and changes that the corporation has made to take a leadership position?
Sure, absolutely. I mean, we've been stewards of the environment for the last 104 years in our corporation. We operate on 7 principles, which includes creation of value for society. Our focus over the last few years has been towards getting to net zero factories. And we are actively pursuing that. We've just added 2 factories in our battery area that are net zero factories. So that's, and we've created a corporate-wide mandate that our factories all have to move towards net zero with an ideal target of 2025 and a latest target of 2030.
Got it. Very good. Kevin, we had dinner about a month ago, and when we had dinner, I could not only see your passion, but I can feel your passion. So why are you so passionate about this business and this industry?
It's fun. I think it's 2 things. One is that I believe that this is a business that can make a difference to people's lives. And that's important to me. I'm not the kind of guy that can go out and sell something just because I'm being paid to sell something. I have to believe in it. And I go back to what I was talking about earlier on. 5 times more polluted than outdoor air, and it's the thing we take into our body the most. I really believe in this, and I really believe that the product that we produce at Panasonic is the best in the world. We've been a leader in this space for over 50 years, and in indoor air quality. And as I mentioned before, we are unique in this space. Nobody else plays in all the components of indoor air quality the way we do, and it gives us a great product to take out to folks, and to passionately put in front of them. And it's a passion that I share with everybody on my team. We're talking about a business in Canada in particular, where we've tripled sales in 5 years within these categories, and it's about the passion that we've got for the product, and it extends down. I mean, when I have a like when we had dinner, it was easy to see everybody cared. Everybody believed in what we were doing, and it went beyond the commercial transaction to
Right.
what we're doing for the world. It's just fun when you can do that.
Yeah, it is fun. What is work if you can't have fun? And caring, belief, that's so important. I talk to my guys about that. Hey, you can have a product, but if you don't believe in it, or if you don't believe in what you're doing, that's going to come over. That's why I do a training called Focus on the Seller. You got to believe in yourself first, and then have the product to believe in that too. And if you have both of those together, that's just a super winning combination. Let's talk about leadership for a second, and leadership styles. I believe that having a title doesn't make you a leader. Your actions do. And one of the things that I've learned from Nelson Mandela, who I look at as one of the greatest leaders ever in history, he said that as a leader, you should develop other leaders, let them lead, and then move out of the way. And I've kind of tried to embody some of that as well, developing leaders and let them lead and let them take that and run with it. How does Kevin Smith lead?
Well, okay. I would say that we're falling into modesty here. If anybody wants to look it up, I'm a Myers-Briggs ENTJ, and to me, the most important part of that is empathy. I believe that every transaction, whether it's a commercial transaction or personal transaction, needs to be win-win. It needs to be based on mutual trust and understanding. It needs to be based on listening, and putting yourself in the other person's shoes to get to a place where everybody feels good about it. I think that logic and strategy development are key parts of what I believe makes an effective leader, and what I try to focus on. I believe that vision, to the level of where am I going to take this business, where am I going to take this company, where am I going to take my people, is key to effective leadership, and having a constant focus on that. Analytic the understanding of analytics. Like one of the best compliments I ever had anybody pay me was a guy that I worked with Cisco who recommended me to a colleague of his. And he said, Kevin can look at a tree and understand the forest. And I believe that that's a key part in effective leaders, is being able to extract the key issue, the key piece that's going to drive change, and get passionate about making that change, and never asking your people to do more than you're prepared to do yourself. But at the same time, if you Google the EMTJs, never accepting them doing less than you're prepared to do yourself, because that just drives mediocrity. It can't always be, it can sometimes not be fun, but if you make sure that you're doing it with a generous heart, and that you are doing it with the motivation of growing them, growing their career, as well as growing the business, and making sure that they are recognized at all levels for the contribution that they've made, I believe you can be an effective leader.
Amazing answer. I did say in my introduction that you were a visionary, and amazingly, that was part of your answer in leadership as well. And this leads me into the next question, the way that your answer flowed, talking about Panasonic and helping them develop their careers and moving forward. What kind of growth opportunities are there at Panasonic, and does Panasonic typically hire from outside, or do they promote from within? What kind of opportunities are there?
Well, I think one of the things about Panasonic is that we are a place where people stay. Every time every quarter, and we have a town hall and we're doing service awards, we've got people who've been with us for 35 years.
Wow.
Real positive. The challenge around that is that we're tending to age at the same time. So we've got a need to bring new young blood into the organization that we can grow and position moving forward. I've been really active in that. I brought, I guess we've got maybe 8 team members who came to us originally on a corporate residency from their MBA program. A lot of who passed through my team, and some of them we hired before they went back to university to finish their MBAs, that have come into our organization, but put into positions of responsibility. And every day I look at their career paths, and every month we sit down and we talk about what their career path is going to look like and how we can keep them growing and engaged, because we want those people to be that next batch of 35-year employees that we can bring back into the organization. So, do we hire from outside? Absolutely. We also promote from within. Like when we've got opportunities, our first look is, who do we have here who's ready to advance? How do we move them forward? That's our starting point. If there's young talent out there that wants a place where they can grow, where they can be respected, and they can have challenging opportunities, Panasonic's a great place to be.
Understood. And since you talked about young talent, our time is running down quickly here, but since you talked about young talent, and we have a lot of college listeners on the program today, how do they find out about internship opportunities?
I think that I would take a look at Panasonic North America's website. They tend to do a little more internship than we do. We do, as I said, we do corporate residencies usually from MBA programs, but you can check either at Panasonic North America or Panasonic Canada and look at our job boards, and we will, we're posted up there. Reach out to our HR team, make them aware, and we'd love to see new talent in the organization.
Got it. Folks, that website is na.panasonic.com. That's na.panasonic.com. Go to that website to learn more about Panasonic, Panasonic products, and internship opportunities. Kevin, our time is up. I'll give the floor to you for 30 seconds for closing statement. Thank you very much for joining today.
Yeah, well, the reason you should elect, no, sorry, different thing. Hey, DC, I really appreciate the opportunity. I love working with Wallace Eannace. You guys are passionate about what you do. I never have a bad meeting with you because I always learn something from being with you. And frankly, particularly for your college audience, no matter how long you've been in business, no matter how long you've been in school, you didn't learn something new today, the day was a failure. So keep learning, keep focusing on how you can innovate, how you can create, and how you can bring that next great idea forward and turn it into something. As if you're passionate, if you believe in it, you can make it happen.
Thank you, folks. Mr. Kevin Smith from Panasonic, GM of, let me get it, make sure I have it right, GM of Panasonic Life and Device Solutions. Folks, I thought this was a great interview. Remember, do not compare yourself to anybody else. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday and make sure that today you are getting better. Chase your dreams because your dreams are not chasing you. I'm your guy, D. Clark, motivated and blessed. Soak it up. I am